Welcome back to the Monday Stove, the reported trade details in case you missed it. Blake Snell going to the San Diego Padres in exchange for 4 prospects. Some of them you've already seen in the big leagues. Luis Patino being one. He's just 21 years old. Cole Wilcox just went in the draft. Probably could have went higher, depending on the old signability, that buzzword around draft time, right? Tom Bertucci, Francisco Mejia, and Blake Hunt. Patino, the number 23 overall prospect in Major League Baseball. If you're talking prospects, then you're probably ringing up my friend Jim Callis, who joins us on the Stove. Now, Jimmy, good to see you. One of my great honors in life, Tom, was making the Callis family Christmas card 2 years ago. Ooh. Yeah, this is true. Jim, what went into that decision real quick? Because that seems like a miss.
No, it's we started working together, MLB4 broadcast.
That's right.
Broadcast during the season, so started working again. But you're making Tom feel bad because Tom is not on the Christmas card list because we rarely work together. So now you've made Tom feel bad. But happy holidays to you both.
But you guys are connected through your love of hockey games. We see your bubble hockey in the background. Tom talked about his table version a little bit earlier. But Jimmy, in seriousness, talking about this trade, when your phone started buzzing on Sunday evening about the 4 guys going to the Rays in exchange for Blake Snell, what were you thinking?
Yeah, it's funny because you first hear the trade, and my thought always is, okay, who's in the trade? Blake, because the headline's always Blake Snell goes to the Padres, and I'm always like, who are the prospects? Who are the prospects? And I think this trade makes a lot of sense for both teams. I mean, Blake Snell is ready to help the Padres win now. He's expensive by Rays standards. I think it's $39 million over the next 3 years, but that's not expensive for how good he is. And the Rays did to me what the White Sox did when they traded Chris Sale and Adam Eaton and Jose Quintana. They didn't trade Blake Snell just to trade Blake Snell and get rid of the contract. They waited and they traded him for a good return. I thought they made out very well. If you're going to trade a guy like Blake Snell, I thought the prospect haul was commensurate with his talent.
So Luis Patino is the headliner in this trade. Can you explain to fans who don't follow prospects that closely just how good he is and how you see him?
Yeah, I love him. He's one of my favorite pitching prospects in baseball. I thought one of the highlights of 2019, the Futures game, was him striking out Joe Adell and swaggering off the mound before Joe Adell had even finished striking out. This is a guy, he's super athletic. He's got a very quick arm. Fastball's up to 99 miles an hour, sits in the mid-90s. Slider could be a wipeout pitch at times. He's got feel for a changeup. He throws strikes. Kind of, I don't know if rushed is the operative word, but, he was in the big leagues maybe a little quicker than expected considering there was no minor league season this year. Pitched in relief. I mean, this is a guy who's got front-of-the-rotation potential. I mean, a couple years from now, he might be a better pitcher than Blake Snell. I mean, he's not a sure thing. Blake Snell has proven himself, but Luis Patino is the type of guy who can pitch in the front of a rotation.
Wow, that's pretty high praise because Snell obviously has won the Cy Young, great stuff. But both these guys, to me, Jim, seem like typical Rays pitchers. They have that high spin rate on the 4-seamers, really good breaking ball. I'm intrigued by the 2 catchers. And we talked to Mark Tompkin earlier. I reminded him, and he knows this is better than anybody, they haven't developed catchers in that system for all the things they do well. So how do you see the 2 catchers fitting in? What do they get back behind the plate?
Yeah, it's interesting. Cole Wilcox, another, potential big-time arm, but it's kind of like the curse of Buster Posey. Since they passed on Buster with the #1 overall pick in 2008, they've had no luck developing catchers. But, Francisco Mejia, I mean, he's worth getting. I mean, to me, he's the 3rd player in the deal, which is pretty amazing because a couple of years ago, he's one of the best prospects in baseball. Had a 50-game hitting streak, which is a modern minor league record. Always been kind of shaky behind the plate. I'm at the point with him, to be honest, I would probably worry less about the catching and try to maximize the bat, to be honest with you. Try to maximize the bat, play him in the outfield because the bat has potential to be really, really good. Blake Hunt, more of a defensive-minded guy. Looked good in instructional league. He might be more of a defensive-minded backup. So both these guys are intriguing, good guys to get in the deal. I'm not sure either one of them I would project as the slam dunk future everyday catcher for the Rays.
Hey, Jimmy, for San Diego, they've been very aggressive recently in acquiring pitching, whether it be the Clevenger trade and now here with Snell. But neither trade cost them Mackenzie Gore. What does the system look like now after this reported move?
Yeah, it's still one of the top, 5 or 10 systems in baseball. They kept Mackenzie Gore. They kept C.J. Abrams, the shortstop, who they took really high in the draft a couple of years ago. They still have plenty of depth. There's, Luis Campusano, who it seemed a year ago when the Padres were in the race for Mookie Betts. Luis Campusano was going to be the headliner. They held on to him. He's one of the best catching prospects in baseball. They've done a really nice job of supplementing the big league club. They've given up a lot of prospect talent, but if you're kind of like putting together a depth chart and trying to project what the lineup's going to look like in the future, outside of Luis Patino, they haven't given up too many guys who you were saying, okay, that guy is going to be the key when the Padres make a run at winning the World Series or whatever. They haven't done that. So I think they've done a great job of adding talent and holding on to most of the key pieces in their farm system.
Before I let you go, Jimmy, I do want to ask you about the Josh Bell trade. What is Pittsburgh getting back from the Nats?
Well, it's interesting because they got a high floor guy and a high ceiling guy. The ceiling guy is Eddie Yeon. He's 19 years old. He's got a chance for 3 solid to plus pitches, throws strikes. He hasn't pitched in full season ball yet, so he's a few years away. He's the longer-term guy. Will Crowe, I would anticipate it would be in the Pirates rotation this year. He's the floor guy. Kind of everything is average. 4 average pitches, average control, innings eater, kind of back of the rotation guy. So he's the floor guy. I think you'll see him in Pittsburgh this year. Yeon's probably 2-3 years away from Pittsburgh, but a good long-term piece.
Jim Callis, the best, MLBpipeline.com, kind enough to be with us on this Monday Hot Stove. Jimmy, happy holidays to the family, of course, and I'll talk to you soon, okay?